Hey guys, thank you for checking out my page. This is another educational video. This time it is on expiration date of our most commonly used products and tools for hair and makeup. I want to put out a disclaimer before I get started and let you guys know that this is based on perfect conditions, meaning you keep your makeup in a dry, cool place, not in a warm, moist place like a bathroom. It also is assuming that you keep all your makeup closed properly and not left open for bacteria and molds and things like that to work its way in and ruin your investments. So let's go ahead and get started. Um, the first thing I want to talk about is foundation. Foundation in the liquid form. Generally, you have about a if it's water based or if it's oil based. You know, concealers and foundations are pretty much the same. But for foundation, you have 12 months if it's water based. If it's oil based, you have a little bit longer. You have 18 months before it generally goes bad. You can check out to see if your foundations are oil or water based by going on the company's website and looking up the products. You can ask the salespeople if you're buying it from a makeup counter. They may know, they should know. Um, so that's the expiration date for those products. For concealers, this is what I meant to talk about first. It's also 12 months. All concealers are generally 12 months. It doesn't mean you're going to break out or anything. It generally just means that you're going to notice that it doesn't work or cover as efficiently as it used to. That means you just need to get rid of it and purchase new product. The other thing I want to talk about is powders. Powder foundations, you generally have about 2 years, which is really good, and that's because of the form that it's in, the chemical form that it's in. It's in a physical um, component. And that basically means you have 2 years, and that's provided that you keep it closed and keep it, dry. Lipstick. Lipstick is a funny little thing. Lipstick has been around pretty much since the beginning of time and it is not going anywhere. With that being said, you could have lipstick, depending on the quality of the lipstick and the ingredients, for up to 4 years before you may have to get rid of it. And a good sign to let you know that it's time to go bye bye lipstick is if it's cracked, if it has a smell. If it doesn't smell like lipstick, throw it out. Do not put that on your lips, please. You will not like that. Um, Another product are pencils, lip pencils, lip liners. Um, you generally have up to 3 years. Again, another product that has been used for a very long time since it goes back to the Ice Age, believe it or not. You can use pencils for quite a long time. So as long as they are safe and they're clean and they should be sharpened after every use or every other use, then you'll have a great life out of the pencils. Let's see, eyeshadows. Eyeshadows, whether it's in a pot form or whether it's in a form like this, a palette, generally you have about, let's see, I wrote it down on my list, up to 3 years. Again, another thing that has been used since at least Egyptian time, the Egyptian era. You could use eyeshadows for up to 3 years. So keep it in a dry place, and I promise you will see results. Once the color starts to fade, that does mean that it's lost a lot of its original chemical composite. So that just means you need to go ahead and get rid of it. Some people like to try to bring it back to life, use Vaseline or oil or something and make it an eyeliner. Be my guest. As long as you kept it clean and neat, by all means, you can do that. Let's talk about some tools. Sponges. Sponges generally can be, if it's only on yourself, you can use sponges, pretty much you could throw them away every month. You could rewash them, hot water and some mild, soap or something, let them dry, and then you could reuse it. I throw them away every time I use it. I don't save them, but some people, like my grandmother, she loves to save her sponges. I tell her to just throw them away every month. They do harbor a lot of germs after a while. Brushes. If you got a good brush, good quality brush, whether it's synthetic fiber or real hair, whether it's boar hair or beaver hair or chinchilla hair, I could care less. A good brush is a good brush, and it could last you for the rest of your life if you take care of it properly. I am going to do a video on proper brush care, and also a review of my favorite brushes for certain makeup applications. So there's really no expiration date on brushes. If they start to lose hairs, or they're just like, if you go like this and it just comes out, it's just not a good brush. It's not worth it anyway. So usually, and I could, sometimes I'm proven wrong, but the more money you spend, usually the better the brush. And that's a general rule of thumb. I've seen some competitors, though, that are definitely stepping their game up. So that's not always true. I also want to talk about mascara. Mascara is a funny thing. And here's a trick. You have 3, 4 months tops, and I'm being very generous here with mascara. Mascara is a bowl of possible infection. Okay, number one, we're opening it and closing it all the time, trapping different things in the bottle and the tube. So that's a big issue. Be safe rather than sorry. Replace these every 2 to 3 months, especially if you've used it on somebody else. Replace it, because you don't want to share that person's bacteria or germs. And let's talk about shampoos and conditioners. The basic rule of thumb is 12 to 18 months, depending on the product. Generally, it does depend on the brand. Some brands tell you when their products expire from the date of purchase or from the shelf life. So once you open it that first time, that's when it starts to oxidize. Okay. This particular product is a Paul Mitchell shampoo, and it has an expiration date right on it, right there. So I know from the day I open this product, brand new, I have 18 months of a shelf life for this particular product. So that's how this works. I really, really appreciate that, because it gives me an idea. I can write it down on the back if I want to, label it and say, okay, I started using it October 1st. So, obviously I have 18 months from that day to use it. Most people keep their shampoos and conditioners in a shower. I don't recommend that. And the reason why I don't recommend that is because, again, it's in a damp, dark place where moisture and bacteria and all of these things can affect the use of the bottle. In particular, because it is closed in, once those bacteria and fungi and all of that stuff gets in the bottle, it's no longer useful. Not only that, you can get infected. You can get drier scalp. You can get it could affect the way it could damage your hair. There's so many different types of bacteria. I can't even get it. There's microorganisms I can't even pronounce that can possibly end up in anything, in your makeup, in your brushes, and in this, if it's not properly cared for. So do yourself a favor and properly care for your items. That's pretty much it. If there's any questions about products, if I didn't touch on a product that you want to know what the expiration date is, please feel free to hit me up on here. You can send me a question, or you could send me a tweet, or you could send me an email. Okay? Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you next time.